Anyone in here? Hey, this was one of those ideas that sounded like a really good idea in my head. And then I started, I gained weight and my boobs are out. So this is just going to be one of those things. We're going to figure this shit out as we go. So welcome to my kitchen. I bought my very first fucking hand blender. So this is exciting. My first time. I'm just like, yay, hey Sage and streaming. Don't forget to like 5 times for 5 years. Good luck. Share. So anyway, so that's what's going on. So now I'm still setting up. I had one of those days where it was just one thing after another. But you guys would appreciate this, right? So you guys see how I walk 4 dogs. 2 are mine and 2 are my neighbors. And her name is Vicky. And she's 64, semi-retired. And we help each other out. Her husband passed. So today was the first day. Thank you. Today was the first time I told her about this whole Blake Lively thing, about me fundraising and stuff like that. And so I showed her the website, and it had Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. And she's like, "Whose side are you on?" I'm with him. She's like, "I don't like her at all." I'm like, she's not a little old lady, but she's you know what I'm saying? She's just not in tune with anything. And she's like, "I don't like her at all. I don't fucking, appreciate her at all. She's nasty." And I was just like, that's hilarious. So I was like, yeah, I'm raising money. And if I have to go, you gotta watch these dogs. So I was kind of trying to give her a heads up, See, I just bought it. It's not even out of the plastic. So all right. Except for the bots, except for the bots, I haven't met anybody who's like, "Oh my God, I like Blake Lively." So I'm just trying to think of the best way to do this. Because I have a really small kitchen. Like I said, I feel like we should have just bought cookies and fucking ate them and talk shit. But I got the recipe up. I don't know if you guys actually want to hear Taylor Swift or if you have any music requests. YouTube is up. So I got Taylor Swift's cookie recipe. Beet butter. Beet butter. I'm assuming that's what that hand shit is for. Blake is a nightmare. I'm not surprised. It's just interesting how much being pretty and having a famous husband can get you. All right, so I'm gonna at least start measuring the dry stuff. I have been listening to somebody who's got a fake Blake reading the letters "Dear Ben, don't hang up." BocceGoHawks. Okay. BocceGoHawks. Okay. These are songs. These don't look like songs. Are these songs? Has an album about the case. Album. We're trying to pick music, guys. If you're just joining, don't forget to like. I was saying that this sounds like one of those things that sounded better in theory than in my actual tiny ass kitchen. So I'm gonna start. Third time's the charm. Okay, let's listen. Thank you. What's up, guys? I've got ingredients to make cookies.
You got his name and you know hit piece and didn't even end up suing him, but everyone thought you did. You acted like you had a smoking gun while you were shooting blanks. Once dismissed, twice dismissed. I know you're hoping.
Wait. You acted like you had a smoking gun, but you were shooting blanks? We need to start this song over again. Wait. Wait. As I'm making... Wait. See, this is one day when I'm rich, I'm going to have a really good setup for y'all. But look. We're making smear campaign cookies. All right, so I'm gonna play this crazy ass song, start from the top, and let's listen. And I'm gonna start measuring. But this is no Food Network shit. I'm not Chelsea Lascani. If you know, you know from Selling Sunset. She really cooks a lot. I have never baked. That's a lie. I made a lot of banana bread during the pandemic, but who the fuck didn't make bread during the pandemic? You know what I mean? Don't forget to like, don't forget to share. Okay, I'm gonna start this song. So if you're just joining, I got put on to this album that mocks Blake Lively, and that seemed appropriate music. I'm making Taylor Swift cookies, the chai cookies. I went shopping just for y'all. Okay. I got fancy measuring cups.
You dragged his name in your New York Times hit piece and didn't even end up suing him, but everyone thought you did. You acted like you had a smoking gun while you were shooting blanks. Once dismissed, twice dismissed. I know you're hoping it. Third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm. Oh my God.
Third time's the charm. You said he laid a digital on me. Why you're out and flooding the zone? You really need to hire a new bar team. It's so obvious, same script. Every accusation is your once dismissed, twice dismissed.
This is so stupid.
Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm.
I did not have a mock Blake Lively song playing while I bake for the first time Taylor Swift cookies, aka smear campaign cookies with 50 strangers on a Friday night. So this just goes to show you guys, you never know where life is gonna lead. Because everybody and their mother is making money off this fucking case. This is like the case that set off a fucking economy. This woman has a fucking album. And I'm over here like an asshole making cookies. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, after this song, I will play that one. It's funny. That's hilarious. Okay, this life is funny. Anyway.
You should be sanctioned. You should pay fees. You
should be sanctioned.
All the time. It wasn't a smear. We just used our ears to listen to you. We didn't like what we heard. Twice dismissed. I know you're hoping.
Spicy.
Third time.
Damn. She said we just used our ears.
Once dismissed, twice dismissed. I know you're hoping. Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm.
So this is a cup. You guys are the bakers, right? That doesn't have to be like exact. It's 2 cups. What's the one? The next song is 100 Million. What's the next song you guys want me to play? That's short of a cup. Okay. All right, that's a cup. I think that's a legit cup. So 100 Million, we're going to play with that one next. This is the smear campaign cookie. Friday night bake off. Scrape, overfill, and scrape off the top. Okay. like you guys are giving me a fucking lesson. Anyway, I'm just gonna say this is good. That's 1 cup. And then we got, I know that baking is a lot of like very precise shit. I just spilled fucking flour all over the floor. You could tell I don't do this shit regularly. Anyway, if there are any men out there who are like, you know, don't judge me on my baking skills is all I'm saying. Tap the screen, guys. Tap the screen.
My blood is boiling, you're a snake. You eat your victims, you're a liar. You ruin the lives of and the lives of 100 million just to save your own. You disgust me.
You disgust me?
Can't look at you at all.
Damn.
You're not that innocent. Not innocent at all. What did you promise them? What did you give, or was it blackmail? You have no shame, you use people for your own gain. You don't care if they lose it all. You disgust me. I can't look at you at all. You're not that innocent.
Half a teaspoon.
Innocent at all. I don't trust you as far as I can throw. That's not very far. You wanted to save your reputation.
Yo, this is so funny. This is fucking hilarious. Okay.
This is your brand. This is on brand.
Damn. This is 1 teaspoon. Anyone have a comment on the teaspoon? Okay.
Not innocent at all.
Here's a question. Okay. You just came to watch me handle the tea bag. You are hilarious. I do so in a bold and spicy way, but it's never with teeth. I use my fingers with the tea bag, just so you know. Guys, whoever knows about baking, so I don't have regular salt. I got pink Himalayan salt. That's not gonna kill a fucking cookie, right? Half a teaspoon of salt. I mean, a quarter teaspoon. It's a quarter teaspoon of salt. But yeah, I can't believe, like, I remember the first time I read fucking Never with Teeth. I was like, what is going on? And why is everyone always like blacking out this woman's teeth in her pictures? It's stronger. Half a teaspoon. It says a quarter teaspoon. So where the hell? Well, a quarter is a half of a half. Anyway, fine. A quarter is a half of a half. So I'm gonna play no more. Okay. By the same. I love that you people know these songs. This is the funniest fucking shit in my whole history of life. Album, Third Time's the Charm. Delete that and put no more. They're catchy. Play tap. Tap 5 times. Get 5 years. Good luck. Here we go.
No more selective feminism that only protects you. No more manipulating headlines through blind controlling who gets to speak. No more using lawsuits as a press strategy.
Oh my God.
Hiding behind your husband's
Wait.
This is my 17-point side agreement. This is not intended as a starting point for a negotiation.
She said this is not intended as a starting point for... Wait. Let me do this again.
No more selective feminism that only protects you. No more manipulating headlines through planet stories. No more controlling who gets to speak. No more using lawsuits as a press strategy. No more hiding behind your husband's fame. This is my 17-point side agreement. This is not intended as a starting point for a negotiation. We're tired of your manipulation. No more. No more. No more. Empowerment while silencing survivors. No more acting sharp when your tactics are exposed. This is my 17-point side agreement. This is not intended as a starting point for a negotiation. We're tired of your manipulation. No more. No more. No more. Betrayal, no more leveraging other people's pain for redemption arcs. No more using nostalgia to distract. No more pretending to protect women while harming them. No more mistaking control for strength. No more painting yourself as brave for creating the mess. This is my 17 points out agreement. This is not intended as a starting point for a negotiation. We're tired of your manipulation. No more. No more.
It's a bop. Is that what the young kids say? It's a bop. All right, I have to beat butter. The double entendres there run. Boggle mind. Okay, so this is my first beating butter experience. This is what you use to beat butter. Bye. Thank you for hanging out. Hey guys. All right, let me say hi to everybody. Hey, Blue Sky, Nicole, Sparkling, Rosie in Spain, Serenading, Sab, Denise, Carol, New York Watchdog, Zane, Bryn. So this is actually... I didn't have time to go get the real stuff, but this is actually de-alcoholized Sauvignon Blanc. I got it at Wegmans the same day I bought all the cookie supplies. And I was like, oh, let me try this out. And it's pretty good. It's a little bit more tart than a normal Sauv Blanc, but it's pretty good. So this is Geisen, whatever. But you know it's a busy day when you don't got time to go get some wine. Like some real wine. All right, I just got you guys all up in my business. So see, I'm cutting the new mixer, Taylor Swift and her fucking cookies. You don't understand. Instead of promoting the movie, they sent this fucking recipe and then the world collapsed. We have to go to court because of fucking Taylor Swift's cookie recipe. Okay, all right. I'm beating butter, right? This is what you use to beat butter. I'm doing it right here. Yes, I haven't seen anyone tell me otherwise. Oh, shit. Okay. All right. I speed it? Oh, shit. Oh, okay, wait. Okay, all right, I think that's good beating. Is this like, is this cheese? I don't, and then it's like in the pan. Keep going, beat the butter. Okay, never with teeth. Smooth butter, okay. All right, I mean, this shit is just getting caught up on the thing. What's that look like? I'm not gonna taste it. Never with teeth. But there's a ball of butter. There's a ball of butter. In essence, you can say I'm busting this ball in order to take it out of these teeth. Right? I'm busting the ball to take it out of these teeth. So this is just an appropriate cooking experience on a lot of levels. You know? I really hope there's like a potential juror that's watching this shit that like lies about knowing anything about this case. Like, just sneak in. I'm lying. I'm joking. I'm not serious. Okay, so you said do it again and keep it lower. Okay. The secret ingredient is a tea bag. It is a fucking tea bag. I got tea bags. All right. Like, y'all do this shit regularly, huh? Beat if you beat some eggs. But see, I feel like this is done. I got balls. Right? I got balls of butter. Like, that feels done, because now I'm supposed to put the oil in. Right? I got balls. I made balls. I gotta do some ball busting. The balls are in the teeth. This shit uses teeth all the time. Okay. This is never gonna go on Food Network. Bust those balls. Okay. All right. What's the next song while I bust balls that y'all wanted? Really? Does a day pass where I don't beat butter? Oh my god, that's so funny. Okay. Slammed? Is that a song? Play Slammed. Okay. Hold on. Let me. Fuck. I should have just bought cookies and tell y'all I made them. Anyway, it's okay. It's not coming off. Okay. Anyway. Let me put this here before something falls. Okay. Slammed. See, guys, I'm not good at everything. Okay, so then this damn recipe slammed the BAC backstabbers.
You said he yelled at me. I don't remember exactly what he said. He yelled something, then slammed his hands down on the director's chair next to me and walked away. Slammed his hands down, stop, rewind, slam the chair, stop, rewind, slam the chair to the ground. Who's doing revisionist history now?
Who's doing revisionist history now? That's funny.
You said if he does something like that to me one more time, I'm going to walk off the movie. Well, you never walked off the movie, did you? So I'm gonna guess he never did again.
Oh shit. Facts.
slammed his hands down. Stop, rewind, slam the chair. Stop, rewind, slam the chair to the ground. Who's doing revisionist history now? You don't remember what he said in June.
What did he say in June?
But you could do a play-by-play of what Jenny said in May. That's convenient.
These are great cross-examination questions.
Stop, rewind, slam the chair. Stop, rewind, slam the chair to the ground. Who's doing revisionist history now? Slammed his hands down. Stop, rewind, slam the chair. Stop, rewind, slam the chair to the ground. Who's doing revisionist history now? Let me see if I get this right. You thought it was porn when you first saw it, then he told you it was a birth video. You didn't want to see it. Now you want to see not just the video he showed you, but other videos that he did not.
Oh my gosh.
To prove a point.
Wow. Wait, I have to restart that. Wow, they made a song about fucking JB Heath? You thought it was porn? And it's a birthing video? And you didn't want to see that, but now you want to see everything? That's savage. Damn. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share. Tap 5 times for 5 years. Good luck.
Let me see if I get this right. You thought it was porn when you first saw it, then he told you it was a birth video. You didn't want to see it. Now you want to see not just the video he showed you, but other videos that he did not. To prove a point. I am begging you to make it make sense, 'cause you don't make sense to me. I am begging you to make it make sense, 'cause you don't make sense to me. Maybe if it turned out to actually be porn, what you're demanding would make sense. This just feels cruel and unnecessary. Why are you doing this? To prove a point. I am begging you to make it make sense, 'cause you don't make sense to me. I am begging you to make it make sense, 'cause you don't make sense to me. You're a mother of 4, you say about protecting women.
Oh shit. Damn.
You don't see what you're doing, it's disgusting. 'Cause we do. I am begging you to make it make sense, 'cause you don't make sense to me.
They are catchy.
I am begging you to make it make sense.
Oh my God.
'cause you don't
And
make
Trick.
sense to me. I am begging you to make it make sense, 'cause you don't make sense to me. You don't make sense to me. No sense to me. No sense
All
to
these
me.
brand new things. This is an insane
No
album. This is a
sense
full
to me.
album.
No sense to me.
There's a truck with big TV you can hire during trial. Justice for JB is advertisement. The AI summary for this says, wait a minute.
You think I didn't clock?
The AI summary for this stream says a cooking stream where butter is beaten with tea bags. This fucking AI is so confused. It's like, what is bust a nut? I thought they were getting butter out of the fucking mixer. Oh my god. The fucking AI is like, I'm not sure how to describe what's happening. Oh, that's so funny. That's funny. All right, 2 teaspoons vanilla extract. And then I'm almost done. And then when I'm done, if y'all want, I'm going to do the cross-examination. Because this shit has to sit and chill for an hour. But y'all wanted slammed next. Yes, we're making Taylor Swift chai cookies. That's the only recipe I found. So I'm assuming that was the article that was like supposedly like circulated by the tag, whatever. Because someone said, you know, it's the only shit that looks organic. Dragons, that's the song y'all wanted. So we're making those cookies because at least here's why I decided to make the cookies, okay? I'm making the cookies because if the fucking cookies are horrible, then we could be like, okay, I can understand why Blake Lively is upset about being associated with this fucking shitty cookie recipe. But then I'm like, be for real. But I'm like, but if the fucking cookies are amazing, then I'm like, oh shit. Well, then in that case, it's not a diss that he fucking connected you with these cookies. They're amazing cookies. You should be so lucky to be connected with Taylor Swift fucking chai cookies. That's the real reason I was like, you know, be for real. Okay. That's the real reason. I was like, let me do this. Okay, hold on. New text in the docket. What's it gonna reveal? Is it finally gonna help you out? Don't know. It still helps them out. It shows that they did nothing. Are you not embarrassed, Blake? The way you put yourself on blast. Be for real, Blake. Be for real, real. Oops, I hit pause. Real. Get a clue, get a clue, get a clue. What is that? Real. Get a clue, get a clue. I'm gonna start it over. Because my internet's being weird. Get a clue. What the fuck? Get a clue, get a clue, get a clue. Check the context. Are you not tired yet? Be for real, Blake. Be for real, real. Yeah. The picture is even clearer. They had no clue what you'd accuse. They prepared for your power play. You tried to knock them out when your gloves came off. Are you not embarrassed, Blake? The way you put yourself on blast. Be for real, Blake. Be for real, real. Get a clue, get a clue, get a clue. Check the context. Are you not tired yet? Be for real, Blake. Be for real, real. Ooh, I can't wait until more of your texts come out. How did you text this to your friends? Oops, friends you love to dissect this energy. Are you not embarrassed, Blake? The way you put yourself on blast. Be for real, Blake. Be for real, real. Get a clue, get a clue, get a clue. Check the context. Are you not tired yet? Be for real, Blake. Be for real, real. I don't really cook, but anyway. New text in the docket. What's it gonna reveal? Is it finally gonna help you out? Don't know. It still helps them out. It shows that they did nothing.
prepared for your power play. You try to
It
knock
says
them
you're
out
just
when your
supposed to
gloves
use it
came
dry.
off. Are you not embarrassed, babe? The way you put yourself on blast. Be for real, babe. Be for real, real. Get a clue, get a clue, get a clue. Check the context. Are you not tired yet? Be for real, babe. Be for real, real. Ooh, I can't wait until more of your texts come out.
I can't wait till more of your texts come out. So funny.
How did you taste this to your friends you love to dissect this energy? Are you not embarrassed, babe? The way you put yourself on blast. Be for real, babe. Be for real, real. Get a clue, get a clue, get a clue. Check the context.
This is so
Are you not
insane.
tired yet? Be for real, babe. Be for real, real.
All right, hold on. I'm almost done. So we're going to do the open. I'm like, okay, I did this. I did that. I added the sugar. I stirred in the flour, the baking soda, the salt. Oh, and the tea. Motherfucker, you were right. Okay, hold on. Well, look, I can stir the tea into this, right? I could stir that in. I could still do that. Okay, but the tea is 1 chai tea bag. So I got 1 chai tea bag. They didn't have whatever the hell it was. Tazo. I thought it came later. Whatever. What did Carol say? Didn't wash your hands? Yes, I did. You just didn't see me. Are you not embarrassed for Blake? Okay. Should I use the beater thing, or can I just use like a fork? Okay. Here are the tea bags. Beat it. Beat it. No one wants to beat it. Beat it. The cookies, they're coming along like this. That's where we are right now. Okay, I made dough, but I forgot the fucking chai for the chai tea lattes, for the chai tea cookies or whatever the hell I'm making. So I have to gonna beat it in. Yeah, I should have bought these fucking things. I don't know. It sounded like a good idea at the time. At the time, it sounded like, oh, this is going to be so easy peasy, even though you've never done this shit before. And you don't have any of the things that you need to do said fucking baking. So go out and buy a hand thingy and a fucking whatever this is. And then, you know, all the ingredients and whatnot. And measuring cups. I mean, I had measuring cups, but not like nice ones. Okay. I'm going to beat it again. Beat it. Beat it. Okay. There we go. So, thank you for calling me out on forgetting the key fucking ingredient. Oh, look at science. Put a bunch of shit together and all of a sudden you get something different. Okay. Look, I keep getting balls. I gotta bust them. I gotta bust these balls. See that? Busting the balls. Bust the balls. Okay. So this is done. I'm gonna let it chill for an hour. And then in the meantime, we can talk about this insanity. So for you guys who weren't here at the very, very beginning, I was saying that like when I walk my dogs, and I have 4 dogs, 2 are mine and 2 are my neighbors. And my neighbor's name is Vicky. She's I think she's like 63, 64. She's semi-retired. Her husband passed away a few years ago. And so like, you know, we're like the 2 single women on the block. This is a very like family town area. So we help each other out. And so she's the one who, if I go to New York, is going to dog sit. And so I showed her for the first time the fundraising page, right? And I'm like, look, because she's not like, how the hell do you tell a 60-something, oh, I'm trying to become a content creator? So she didn't get it. So I was like, no, look, I'm raising money. And if I get to this money and I can afford it, like, I'm going to go. And you got to watch the dogs. So then she's looking at this. And I showed her the picture. Okay, wait, chill the soft dough for about an hour. Does that mean I got to put it in the fridge? Do you have to put dough in the fridge to chill it? I'm going to Google that. Do I have to put cookie dough in the fridge? Well, Janice says yes. Okay, I'm going to put it in the fridge then. Should I cover it? I got aluminum foil. So anyway, Vicky, I'm talking to Vicky and I'm explaining this whole thing to her, that I'm like, listen, I may be gone for a couple weeks and you have to, you know, you're going to have to watch the dogs, but I'm going to be able to like help and pay you and all these things. And so I pull up the freaking website and she's like, who are you going for? Because I'm on his side. She's like, I don't like her at all. She's so arrogant. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, I have never talked about pop culture with this woman. She doesn't know that I'm on fucking TikTok. Like, I showed her like one of the videos today for the first time, and she was like, but I showed her the fucking fundraising page. And she's like, I like him. I'm not on her side. She's like, you better be like reporting for him. And I was like, no, like he's got the case. It was so funny. Oh, I was cracking up. Okay, hold on. Okay, it's going to get dark for 2 seconds while I unplug you and move you. And then we're going to go to my little corner. So in the mornings when I make my videos, this is my little nook area. And then the whiteboard's right there. So this is where, see that? Look familiar? Oh wait, let me go back here. So, let's do this. All right, cool. Hold on. Let me just. All right, so if you're just joining, Vicky is cool. She's a Justin Baldoni fan. I didn't have time to go to the liquor store, so I'm drinking de-alcoholized wine from New Zealand. It was at Wegmans. That's the East Coast supermarket chain. And I bought it the same day I did the video that I was like, oh, let me buy all this cookie stuff. I found it and I was like, oh, let me try it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And it's only 100 calories for the whole bottle. Vicky's my neighbor. So she's the one, like, when I'm walking the dogs, like two of the dogs that I walk are mine and the other 2 are hers. And like, we help each other out. And she's like, I was explaining to her, like, that I'm trying to raise money to go to New York to cover this trial. And so I pulled up the fundraiser page and she saw like the Baldoni picture that I have on my page. It's like Blake and Justin. And she's like, you better be on his side. So cheers, everybody. Thanks for hanging out on a Friday night. Yeah, she was like, I don't like her. I don't like her at all. She's so nasty. She's like, she's so nasty. Yeah, she did watch it. So sometimes she doesn't have like the thing. So like, I let her use my TV while I'm out or whatever. So she did watch. It Ends With Us. I don't understand. I just got like, I don't know. I think I gained weight, and so my dress isn't fitting the way it's supposed to. So whatever. I was going to try, by the way, hashtag, like, side note, I was going to try GLP-1s. But my mom has been on GLP-1s, and apparently she's got like a huge freaking gallstone now in her gallbladder. So that needs surgery. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have to do this shit the old-fashioned way. So I don't know what you guys, like, if you guys saw my video from last night. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Don't forget, tap 5 times for 5 years. Good luck. Do all the things. Guys, also, news. I hit 1 million views on YouTube. Isn't that cool? I swear to God, I only started YouTube because of this stuff. I didn't even have a YouTube for like the Selling Sunset stuff. I don't know if you can see that. I know it's backwards, but it's 1 million. I was like, oh shit. Did you already sign up for the Creator Fund? I think so. There was like something about like a partner or something. I'm gonna get better about this. Like if I'm gonna take this seriously to like make this a thing that I never really knew how to do, then I'm gonna figure it out. I bought a book about YouTube that I'm gonna read. So, what's up, Notorious Raven? Hey, Katie. So this lets me play music. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm not like a certain kind of member. Did you change content? I don't know what that means. But whenever I've tried to do like music stuff on YouTube, I get it like restricted. So I feel like this is like a friendlier platform for like music and stuff. So we listened. If you're just joining, you missed out because I have now been introduced to BocceGoHawks diss album of Taylor Swift, and it's fucking amazing. But the first song that you guys made me play, all those questions, I'm like, damn, that's a good cross-examination. It's like, so wait, let me get this straight. So I wanted to talk about cross-examination, and I saw yesterday that, and this is all algorithm, you know, because some days I don't see anything related to Blake Lively, and then some days like I'll see whatever. And I saw a Shashti Flaw video yesterday on Blake Lively, and I was like, okay, let me check it out. I also saw the interview that she did with Billy Bush, who I think is just weird. He's a weird guy. Oh my gosh, you missed it. You're going to have to come back and see my reactions to like hearing these like lyrics for the very first time. I was like, wait a minute. You made this a song? And who's the singer? Great singer. But, no, so anyway, so Shashti was like explaining the whole story about, you know, how it was not until 2024 that clip had been widely released. And she was like, I just felt like it one day. But it got me thinking, okay, just first about like Shashti Flaw testifying. Kiwi girl, cheers. I love New Zealand wine. The normal one and the de-alcoholized. This is the first de-alcoholized wine I've liked. So Shashti was explaining the whole like origin story. And then that she got asked to testify, and she said yes. And so then yesterday there was a new video, and I didn't watch the whole thing, but she said something like, you know, at the beginning of the thing, she's like summarizing, and then she's like, there's a lawyer who says that on cross-examination, the Baldoni team should ask, hey, Blake, do you think any of the bad press that you got was your fault? And I didn't listen to the rest. I had a heart attack. So I didn't know who the attorney was. Then I posted it, my response, and then people were like, oh, this is not actually Golden. And I'm like, okay. I mean, it doesn't change my analysis, but it's not like, just so to clear whatever, I'm like, I'm not actively seeking out other attorneys. I have tried, and this is not like an insult to anybody, I have tried to watch their videos, but I feel like I'm not their audience. Another lawyer is not their audience. Because by the time like I've watched for 20 seconds, I'm like, I could have found this myself. So their videos are much more like instructional. So for me, there's no real reason for me to like take the time to like watch one of their videos. And so again, I'm like, is no diss. I'm just like, I don't have time and I could do this shit myself. So I don't watch other people's videos. So, so I say that to say I know nothing about Not Actually Golden. All I know is that she like seems very wealthy. Because every time I've seen her in this like enormous closet or in this bathroom with like a huge soaking tub that looks like one of those tubs that you find like at a 4-star like resort, you know? That I'm like, damn, I would book that hotel room just for that tub. Like she's got one of those tubs. So I've like swiped a few times and like that's it. So I don't know her at all. But here, and you guys have an exclusive, the 99 that are here, because I'm gonna tell you guys, I heard from my insider. So I did send my video last night about the like my response to that question about asking an open-ended question. And where the hell? I don't know how this account became a spam account. So anyway, I don't know for sure that this was forwarded. I believe so, but I say I suspect, but I have no idea. Okay. But we were emailing about trial strategy. And this person says, BL, by the way, I just love how everybody fucking uses the same initials. But anyway, BL has to be tightly controlled and given no opportunity to tell a story during cross. Pause. That's what I said. Okay. And then the cross-examining lawyer must stay very calm and professional and only make a comment on her if she's being, basically he was saying like, the way he worded it is odd, but basically he's saying if Blake Lively starts becoming uncooperative with whoever's questioning her and refusing to answer the question, the lawyer shouldn't like lose their temper with Blake Lively, but should involve the judge. Because that's the difference between live testimony and a deposition. The judge is right fucking there. The jury is right there. So you can't pull your same bullshit that you pull in a deposition and think is gonna fly. So that's what he said. And basically saying, he said, virtually all questions should be leading. And she should be made a puppet where she either says yes or no. So that's my point, right? And that's what I was saying last night about the video, like when you do a cross-examination, the point of it is to be very focused, very narrow, and that a cross-examination is why they say you never ask a question that you don't know the answer to. You don't know the answer to the question, do you believe you had any impact on your negative press? She could say so many things to that and you have no idea what she's going to say. And it's an open-ended question. And once she starts talking to answer your question, you can't interrupt her. The judge is going to be like, she has a right to answer the question. So just that one question, the fucking next thing you know, she could be spending 20 minutes. Well, you know, I certainly don't think that I've impacted myself as harshly as, you know, your clients who started, you know, fucking punishing me because I dared to say like that I was uncomfortable on a set and like, you know what I mean? Like that, you don't ask open-ended questions on cross. You just don't. It's a pretty like common rule. Like you just don't. Direct examination is open-ended. Hey, Blake Lively, you know, tell us your name, tell us your background, who you're married to, when did you start acting? You know, what was your role on this movie? What was your understanding? How was the environment on the movie? You know, when did you first meet Justin Baldoni? How did you collaborate with Justin Baldoni? You know, like all of these things. And then you on direct, you'd be like, so tell us what happened. Tell us what happened. And then what happened. And then what happened. And then what happened. And you're just giving the person a chance to tell their story. Okay? If she changes her answer from on the stand to what she said in the deposition, then they pull out the deposition transcript and be like, but over here you said this. But deposition, here's the difference, okay? They only deposed her for 7 hours. If it takes a fucking week to question Blake Lively about the PGA letter, then it takes a fucking week. So there's plenty that we don't know what she's going to say. She's going to testify for way more than 7 hours. I guarantee you that. That's just one day in court. So, and she's like basically putting herself on trial. Yeah, so the lies, right? You know, when you have a cross, like you have to you have this whole fucking story now it's your turn, and we have to narrow her in. We have to bring her back to what we need her to say to prove our case. So what did she do? She lied about writing the roof scene. So this is where Never With Teeth comes in. And you're like, I'll show you my past with the roof. Pause. You wrote this, right? Yes. You wrote it of your own free will? Yes. You sent it of your own free will? Yes. And then your past means your version, right? Yes. And you told Justin that you were writing the roof scene, right? Yes. You told Colleen Hoover, yes. And you told Jenny Slate, yes. And you told Brendan, yes. And you told this one, and you told that one, and you told Sony, and you told Jamie Heath. You told all these people that you wrote the roof scene, yes or no? Yes. You have to say yes, because you fucking did. And then it wasn't until the premiere that you revealed it was really Ryan Reynolds. Right? You said that at the premiere. You said your husband wrote the roof scene, yes or no? So in essence, you lied to everybody, right? About writing the roof scene. Well, I wouldn't say like yes or no. You lied. You said something that was not true. You said you were doing something, but in reality, it was someone else. Do you not think that that's a lie? That's a lie. Objection, withdrawn. The fucking jury heard it. But you narrow the bitch down. That's cross. You know, what do we have to prove? Like, okay, you went to somebody on this date and you said you felt uncomfortable. You wouldn't ask that. You could do something like that when it's defense's turn. When it's the defense's turn to present their case, then there are things that you can say, like with never with teeth. Like, what does ball mean? But that's when it's your turn to do direct examination. You don't do that when it's cross-examination. See the difference? They're going to do direct examination for Blake Lively, and they want her to tell her version of the story on direct. And then when it's their turn for her on direct, they're going to be like, read this PGA letter. You left that out. Let's go down the line for every fucking line of this PGA letter. You said you worked tirelessly. How tirelessly did you work? Those are the open-ended questions that you ask when it's the defense's turn. But when it's, thank you for my laughing taco. So if she testified about it at the deposition that she did remember, then you can impeach somebody. You can say, you say you don't remember, but you did like this. And then also, like, you know, we at least know you told Justin Baldoni that you wrote the roof scene. And that was a lie. And Sony was surprised to learn that you wrote the roof scene. So, because they have those emails. So, but when you're cross-examining her, okay, this is, in my opinion, this is all going to come down to the breach of contract claim. So you say direct cross-examination. You had a meeting on this date in January, right? Right. And you all agreed that you were going to form this contract, correct? And you signed the contract. Hold on. Okay. It says, and you signed the contract and you agreed, nothing made you feel uncomfortable after that, right? Everything was a professional set. You've said that before, right? Yes. Okay. So then in May, your husband, Ryan Reynolds, unfollowed Justin Baldoni. Isn't that right? And then in June, you wrote this letter to the PGA. Isn't that correct? Did anyone, no one helped you with this letter, right? You wrote it by yourself, right? And you sent it and you represented truthfully everything that you did, right? This is the truth. Everything that you have in this letter is the truth. Okay. And then in July, you told Sony you would no longer promote with Justin Baldoni. Yes or no? Well, I felt yes or no. Like, did you or did you not tell Sony that you would not promote with Justin Baldoni? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Then you unfollowed Justin Baldoni. Isn't that correct? Correct. And the cast unfollowed him. To your knowledge, the cast unfollowed him. And at the premiere, you refused to take pictures with him. Well, I felt that was my protected activity. We're not talking about protected activity. Move to strike from the record, Your Honor, which means the jury can't consider that phrase. If she tries throwing that shit in there when it's just a breach of contract claim, you could say objection, move to strike. And then you say, okay, and then you put him in the basement at his own premiere. No further questions. That's it. Because what did you do? You established that she had a problem that was addressed. She formed a complaint that she actually fucking signed. She admits that nothing happened that made her uncomfortable after, which means what? That we argue at the end that the freaking terms of that contract were complied with. And then she's the one who started stuff because months later, then it's Ryan, then it's her, then it's Ryan, then it's her, then it's her, then it's her, then it's her. No further questions. You don't need to prove your case, your whole case, with one witness in one shot. If she blames Ryan Reynolds, can you imagine? Like, I would leave the courtroom just to come outside and be like, she blamed Ryan Reynolds, and then go back inside. I'm like, if she throws Ryan Reynolds under the fucking bus, oh my God. But that's what you do on a cross. You don't have to prove your whole case and with one witness on one shot. The only thing that you try to do in a cross-examination is focus her so that you get the issues to the elements. Remember when we talked about the formulas? How do you have to show the offer, consideration, acceptance, meeting of the minds. Well, to show a breach, you have to show that there was an agreement, that one party performed and the other one didn't, and that breach caused harm. So by her saying nothing happened that didn't make her feel uncomfortable, by definition, at least some of the terms of that contract were followed by Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer. So it kind of like, so you use her to establish your timeline. This is not about her timeline. This is not about, oh, then these fucking cookie recipes came out and then they started talking about me being on a fucking plantation and then he boosted this domestic violence thing. Like, as far as I'm concerned, Justin Baldoni could be responsible for all of it. The issue is not, was there a smear campaign? The issue is, if there was a smear campaign, why? And could you blame him? That's the issue. Because so long as you can justify the smear campaign because of what she was doing to him, then there's no breach of contract. Or in the old laws, if FIHA was still applying, then there's no fucking retaliation because it has to be solely because of that meeting. And you walk her through her PGA letter like she's a little old lady, hunched over with her fucking like this, because you need to take your time and fucking go one step at a time, as long as it takes. And if she spends an entire week talking about that PGA letter, guess what she's not talking about? Her being a victim. Don't victimize her again by asking her, don't you feel like you victimized yourself by, being like whatever you did to contribute to your own. That has nothing to do with breaching a contract. And I don't think Justin Baldoni's team should focus so much on trying to disprove that they did anything to smear her. They did do stuff. Like they did shit. Like it doesn't matter though. Because as long as they did it, because even the judge said in the opinion, you were allowed to hire a PR person to protect your reputation. He said that. I'm telling you, the funny thing about her fucking statement, I'm grateful to the judge for preserving my retaliation claim, is that if this dude could have said fucking case dismissed, he would have. It's just the fact that that's a fact issue and the judge cannot make conclusions of fact, but he could state the facts. So he stated the facts. He was like, PR became because of Ryan Reynolds and following. PR came because of the fucking Blake Lively say she won't promote. He put those two examples in there, and then the judge said, and that's legal because you're allowed to protect your reputation. That's their whole fucking case right there. That's why I'm like, don't get bogged down. And like, even Shashti Fla, like, okay, like bring her in to be like, no, it was my idea. But I would not focus so much on trying to defend myself for defending myself. Why did I have to defend myself? And that fucking PGA letter. And I told people, like, when I first made this, when I first started looking at this case, I'm like, she had to have lied to her lawyers. Because think about it. At the very beginning of this case, everybody was on Blake Lively's side. Everyone believed her. And it just seems to me that she told her lawyers the same fucking sob story that she told everybody else. He's talking about circumcision. He's this guy showing me this picture and blah, 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 blah. Help me, lawyers, help me. And then that's why I say it wasn't until later that I think the associates, like doing all the document review, found the PGA letter, the Never With Teeth, the Dear Ben, the Dear fucking Matt Damon adding to the Zeros of Pressure. Like, then they found it, and then they were like, holy shit, our fucking client is unhinged. What do we do? Because by then it's too late. You can't quit because you can't, like, the court doesn't allow you to, like, prejudice your client. Like, there's no way for another lawyer to get up to speed in the time that they need to go to fucking trial. So judges, really, it's rare that they let you quit. They'll let, like, an individual lawyer quit, but they wouldn't let, like, the whole law firm quit. Yeah, man, I was like, damn, I felt bad for them. I was like, fuck, that's terrible. Like, they're like, yeah, we're representing the good guys. And then poor Michaela gets the fucking email. She's like, oh my God. I mean, like, that's 5 pages. That's like, what does Alexandra Shapiro say? It's a remarkable document. It's a remarkable fucking document. Carol, when did you leave? Poor Michaela. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, but that's why. That's the difference. Okay? The Baldoni team needs to focus. This is a very, very, very simple case when it is just one breach of contract claim. I was saying, Carol, that she screwed her attorneys because when this whole case first started, everyone believed Blake Lively. Everyone was on her side. I read the New York Times article and I was like, damn, what's this guy's problem? So I feel like she went to her lawyers and she was like, I was sexually harassed. This is the things that he did to make me feel uncomfortable. And the lawyers were like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And so I don't think that they understood how fucking crazy Blake Lively is. Because if they did, they might have thought twice, but they definitely would not have structured the case the way that they did had they known that there's a fucking 5-page letter that's going to completely dismantle every single aspect of their case. Like, she did not talk to anybody about writing. I mean, she didn't even fucking upload that shit to ChatGPT to be like, hey, what do you think about this, AI? I'm like, what the fuck? And then at the end of the damn letter, she's like pointing it out. At this time, you will not find letters of support from, and I'm like, why would you point that out? There's so much in that fucking letter that I'm like, this woman is out of her mind. Like, legit. She's fucking nuts. Like, 5 times for 5 years, good luck. Tap 5 times. Because it's just like, I don't know. Anyway, this is just one of the most self-destructive fucking things I've ever seen. A celebrity do to themselves. So Miss Live didn't take over a movie in their first letters. What's that mean? Oh, yeah, no, you can't quit your clients. Well, she fed her lawyer's delusions and Discovery came out. Yeah. So, oops. Yeah, she's been a self-destructive. I'm like, I can't think of another. Y'all remember Charlie Sheen? Remember when Charlie Sheen was on some Tiger Blood shit? And he was like, oh man, I'm winning. Do you guys remember that? Anyone? Bueller? That's the only time I remember any fucking celebrity being so goddamn crazy that they just like went and like fucking destroyed their reputations, like intentionally. That's the only thing that I could think of. He's like, oh man, I'm winning. I got tiger blood in me. I got tiger blood. I'm just, oh man, winning. Like, winning. That's the only time I could fucking remember a celebrity like doing something like this goddamn self-destructive. The woman is like, I want to go on the stand and I want all these people to make fun of me in court. On purpose. On fucking purpose. I was just like, okay. So, but that's the difference between the cross. Now, if I'm doing a direct examination of Blake Lively, like I said, Miss Lively, read this whole letter, please, for the jury so that the court reporter can also put it on the record. She can't say no. And it took me 30 minutes speed reading. The cookie dough is in the fridge cooling. So I said while the dough is getting ready or whatever, I was going to talk about the trial strategy. He had counters. So let me, since I have the whiteboard, hold on. Where? All right, well, I wrote smear campaign cookies on this thing, so I have to erase it first. But I will, I'm going to explain you guys what's going on with the contract stuff. But by the way, thank you guys if you've donated for the Sending Me to New York fund. Hello, Mr. Nostalgia, Vibe, Danielle, Nicole, Heather, Pamela, Carol again, Brandon, Blue Sky, Tap like, Elsie, Serenading, yes. I don't have my glasses on. Sorry, Amy Pitcher. The real Cheryl Craig. Because she's insane. And plus, it's Baldoni's decision. And he's like, what the hell's the point of getting into a contract with her? That's what a settlement agreement is. It's a contract. And the woman has proven she's not going to fucking abide by her contracts. So, all right. I'm going to eventually get a better setup. Actually, do it this way. All right, so this signifies the January meeting, January 2024, okay? After her 17 points, they signed this agreement that said, you agree not to bother me anymore and you agree not to retaliate. So this contract has the word retaliation in it. And then what's going to get dismissed but still has not gotten dismissed, this section is 2023. So once FIHA is dismissed, none of the stuff from 2023 will come in, or it shouldn't come in. They should object to it coming in. So you can say to the jury, yeah, there were things that made her uncomfortable. Hence, they had this January meeting and executed this contract. But you, the jury, are not allowed to draw any conclusion that Justin Baldoni sexually harassed her or was inappropriate in any way. Like that's a limiting instruction. So this wouldn't come in once the motion for judgment on the pleadings, which was the thing that they blindsided on and said, hey, judge, we saw your footnote 20. We don't think California law should apply to actions that occurred in New Jersey. That's going to get dismissed. The judge invited it. And then the motion for summary judgment for motion for summary judgment for TAG is like, this is supposed to be a law that helps employers and employees, and we never employed her. So this is going to become a single breach of contract case. It just is. And breach of contract, one claim is very simple. So this is not the ALA. This is not the offer letter. This is just an agreement that they had at the end of the January meeting, whereby Wayfarer agreed that they wouldn't retaliate against her. Okay. Now, then as we've talked about, hold February, March, April, May. May was Ryan Reynolds unfollowing. June is the PGA letter. And then July is her saying there's no promotion. I'm going to circle the PGA letter. So in his opinion, Judge Lyman said the May unfollowing, this is August, and the July not promoting, this was Baldoni. Well, I tried to make a phone, but it looks like a weird C. But anyway, he called PR. Okay. So right now, do you see how easy this case is? This is a pretty fucking easy case. It's gonna get like a lot of bullshit thrown in because of the PR stuff, like all the creators and stuff, but that's all secondary. Because again, it doesn't matter if Justin Baldoni said, let's hype up this video or whatever, or let's, say that she's not taking domestic violence seriously, or let's connect her to this Taylor Swift recipe. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's why I'm like, don't get fucking sidetracked, Baldoni team, because she's going to be like, and then they did this, and then they did this, and it doesn't matter. You know why? Because you did this. As long as what Justin Baldoni did to you comes after this, he's good. That's why this is your focus, this PGA letter. This is the biggest fucking PR nightmare anybody could ever hope to have. This woman is like, the director was basically useless. I came in, I took over the whole fucking movie. Give me a producer tag. Even though this director and his partner in the business won't support me right now with letters. You don't think that's a huge fucking PR issue that warrants calling PR and be like, I want to take this bitch down? Now, he's a really nice person, so I'm sure he didn't say that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter what, if Shashti Fla reposted their interview at Baldoni's behest or not, because it was in August. That Shashti Fla thing was in August, right? Because she said she saw the movie in the theaters and then she was like, let me go post this. So as long as you have this one PGA letter is her downfall, it would be helpful, but even that's not necessary to have the Forbes interview. But when it is the defense side, okay, the first witness they should call is Blake Lively. And the first thing they need to have her fucking do is read this PGA letter. Because she's going to have spent whatever her case is going to be talking about, oh, woe is me, they made fun of me, they put this and they put that, and then there was this thing and that thing and that thing, and woe is me, and I'm just such a nice person, and I was just trying so hard to work for the film and make it the best, and it was so successful, and oh yes, we broke box office records, and I'm amazing, and everyone's amazing, and it's just Baldoni who's so mean to me. Mean Baldoni. Mean Baldoni. That's going to be her whole fucking case. And then it's going to be Baldoni's turn and be like, so let's figure out why was he mean. Her case is the what. What happened? He was mean. His case is the why. Why was he mean? Well, let's go down the fucking yellow brick road of shit that this woman did to him. Okay? So that's the case. So that's why I'm like, you don't want to ask her, did you think you had anything to contribute to the... It doesn't matter. Negative PR is a red herring. It's a distraction. The only thing that matters is that he didn't do it because of this. It is legal and it is appropriate for a person whose reputation is being damaged to retain a public relations firm of their own to try to protect their own reputation. That should be in their fucking opening statement, Baldoni's opening statement. But yeah, so I'm like, smear campaigns are already legal. They're only illegal if it's because, and now it's not even sexual harassment law. It's only illegal if you're breaching this contract by doing it as retaliation for this. And so you have this puny ass contract from January, or you have this huge fucking 5-page PGA letter that like clowns Justin Baldoni. Which do you think motivated this man to call PR? No, I don't think anything's due today. Unless the judge gave them an abbreviated timeline to respond. Parties have 14 days to respond to dispositive motions. So I would have expected Blake Lively's side to respond to the tag motion for summary judgment and the Wayfarer motion for judgment on the pleadings on the 24th. That's my understanding. But if they change the date, then I don't know that. I haven't looked that closely. So let's see. No, nothing today. So, oh, he gave him 7 days. Okay, well then it is due today. And then in which case they have until midnight. They have it until 11:59 p.m. Isn't that fun? Go big law. That's probably what they're fucking waiting for. So refresh your shit at 11:59 p.m. But guys, okay. Eastern, yeah. This is so this is one contract, okay? And everyone wants to know, if he wins, can Baldoni get attorney's fees? Can he then go after, okay, I'm here, what's the latest? The latest is the cookie dough is chilling in the fridge. You missed that stuff. And docketupdates.com. And then we played anti-Blake Lively music with Bocce. I forget the name of the person. And you should start a subscription on TikTok to raise money. That's a good idea. I didn't know you could do that. What time is it in New York? It's 8:36 p.m. Go to docketupdates.com under calendar. Okay, hold on. Judge Lyman order. Approved Blake Lively's schedule. That's a designation deadline. That's not a response to their motions. I'm telling you, I think that they're not responding until the 24th. So it says it's granting a letter of motion for extension of time to submit the designations for Sarowitz and Abel. So basically, that's just saying designation for the deposition is saying from the deposition that we took, these are the sections of the deposition that we want to use. From this page to this page, from this page to this page, from this line to this line, from this line to this line. Like, you have to show them exactly what you're planning to use for testimony. That's what a deposition designation is. But like I said, typically under the federal rules, another party has 14 days to respond to a dispositive motion. So since the judgment on the pleadings and summary judgment were filed on the 10th, I wasn't anticipating anything until the 24th. Check the calendar section. I put the docket where the judge put the timeline. Okay, hold on. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. The fucking objections to the revised exhibit list. I went through that. And that's another reason why I say, I think, you know, they're arguing a lot about the smear campaign stuff Baldwin's team is. If you look at like what they're objecting to in the in that letter, they're trying to like get rid of the smear campaign narrative. But hold on, let me see. When do you think the judge will rule all of this? So the other, well, wait, let me find Carol's thing. Michaela. Oh my God. I feel so bad for putting Michaela on blast. Poor kid. Poor kid. So docket updates. So Carol, you have your own website for this case? This is the case that keeps on giving. Calendar. 30 days. Oh my God, you have a countdown? So yeah, April 17th, deposition deadline. So that's the designations. Motion for continued sealings. Deadline for Lively to reply. So they're going to fucking file that shit at midnight. I've had a lot of midnight filing. Federal court, you can file until 11:59 p.m. But if they fuck up and they file at 12:01 because something goes wrong with Pacer, then you're screwed. Then they can move to dismiss. Fucking technicality. Okay. The court held a status conference. Plaintiff's response. But this only says plaintiff's response to the motion for judgment on, the motion for summary judgment, because that's the only one they knew about. They were blindsided on the motion for judgment on the pleadings. So is there an order for the motion for judgment on the pleadings? Or are we just going to get the response to the tag motion tonight and then the motion for judgment on the pleadings response next week? That's why the Wayfarer parties were tricky with their fucking duplicitousness. No, there's not an order. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So they had a heads up on the motion for summary judgment because of that April 2 conference. So they said, okay, we could do that by the 17th. But again, at that April 2nd conference, fucking Baldoni's lawyers kept it on the DL that they were doing a motion for judgment on the pleadings. Technically, they didn't have to say that, but it's rare that you wouldn't. So that's why they're totally blindsided. And then they probably do need the extra time. So if it's going to be tonight, then look for something at 11 and then it'll be their response for a motion for judgment on the pleadings. And I'm sure they'll say some bullshit about fucking, extraterritoriality or whatever. It's going to get dismissed. Guys, I have a treat for you guys on the 22nd. Cool. So Ezra Hudson's writing in the past. It's just the response for tag tonight. Yeah. But see, that goes to show you how fucking shady. Sorry, my boobs are falling out. But yeah, that goes to show you how fucking shady. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. Good for them. Like that's Van Zandt retaliation, baby. Not telling them about this fucking motion for judgment on the pleadings again because of footnote 20. We should have I'm gonna start making merch, like a mug, and be like footnote 20. If you know, you know. There could be so many fucking so many inside jokes because of this stupid case. It's amazing. But yeah, this is cool. Oh, key players. I'm gonna buy you a coffee. Oh my God. Compares herself to Khaleesi. You are so funny. Oh my gosh. Shell Company. Van scam. This is awesome. Oh my god. And I love how the fucking faces are blurry. Oh my gosh. Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz, Jennifer Abel. This is so helpful. It's like, how long have I been covering this case? 2.5 months. I just found this website. Jed Wallace, a Texas resident. Taylor Swift, one of BL's dragons. That's fucking hilarious. Leslie Sloan, Sony, the New York Times, maximum effort. Look at you with your disclaimer. So cute. This is a cool website. This is pretty neat. I'm going to check this out. That's pretty cool. Get it? Jed Wallace is a Texas resident because he's not in the case. Yes. That's cool. Playlists. Oh my god, that's the BocceGoHawks. That's so funny. Oh, there's a music video? I'm not gonna watch it right now. Your one-stop shop for the case. Yeah, really. The attorneys. Let's click. Michael Gottlieb. Poor bastard. Melissa. Oh, let's look up Melissa. Associate. Melissa Summer Tostein. I'm so nosy. Associate. I just want to see what year she graduated. (2018). Oh, she went to Rutgers. I feel like she's the same year as Michaela, so maybe they rock, paper, scissored it. Who's going to tell Gottlieb about the Never with Teeth? Have you seen the AI music videos? I have. I have seen. You're very spoiled by us. You would have blocked us all in June. Hold on. I'm looking at, I didn't realize that some of the comments weren't getting posted. Okay. Anyway. My wish is Wayfarer sees. Yeah, really. I feel like all of us at some point now have to have had some kind of Justin Baldoni fantasy. And I don't mean that in an inappropriate way. I have a fantasy about Justin Baldoni. I have a fantasy that Justin Baldoni is going to like, oh shit, she's really smart. We should hire her for in-house counsel. Wayfarer needs a really good attorney to do their contract work. My husband is cracking up listening to your live. You know what I mean? I feel like all these content creators and shit, they're having like financial wet dreams over this shit, you know? Is it hard to be a paralegal? Not really. Not really. Paralegals are great. You have to be really organized. If you know how to, if you like to be really organized and you, like can pick up things quickly, paralegal is a good job. Because a paralegal is like the person who does like all the preparing of stuff for the attorneys. So sometimes they work late. Like if there was a late filing, like this shit. But I don't think there would be a paralegal for this. But like if you had a late filing, like you had to do a complaint, the paralegals are there with you to help you like do the exhibits and all that stuff. Or formatting. I suck at formatting. So like a really good paralegal would like format Word and stuff. So it's like an advanced secretary is what a paralegal is. And they make good money and they get overtime. All things I didn't know until I went to fucking law school. All things I I did not know. But, you know, and then because when I went to law school, one of my classmates, she was like, oh, like I was a paralegal at Cravath, like making $97,000 a year plus overtime. And I'm like, why are you here? Like, you're fucking 22 years old making $97,000 a year and you decided to come to law school. But she's doing great now. She's like a managing director at Chase. She also went in-house and is like really high up there now. So good for her. But still, I was funny. I was just like, I don't think I would have gone to law school if I had found a job where I could make $97K a year. And we're talking 2004 money, right? So that's like $150 a year. Back then, working for a big law firm to be a paralegal. And I will tell you guys this too. It depends, like, I have no idea. I will tell you guys something funny. If for those of you who know the East Coast, when I first started on TikTok, I kept seeing people put these initials LGA, like, oh, go check LGA, go to LGA. And I'm from New Jersey, so I was like, why is everyone trying to send me to LaGuardia Airport? Because the fucking abbreviation for LaGuardia Airport is LGA. And I'm like, that would be like me calling myself like Justice for Knowledge and be like, my abbreviation is JFK. And you're saying to somebody like, hey, go check out JFK. Like, I literally Googled LaGuardia Airport. I was like, what's up with LaGuardia? People keep talking about LaGuardia. It's like, what the fuck's happened to LaGuardia Airport? I'm like, I like LaGuardia Airport. It's a great airport. But still, I was like, oh my God. EWR. Exactly. Newark. Right? Yeah, I was like, LGA. And then it was like, oh, little girl attorney. So, but even now, whenever I see it, like, I still have to take a beat and be like, no, that's not LaGuardia. That's something else. But that was funny. Melissa. And then, yeah, I think she's the same year as Michaela. But you see her just like, you don't, like, Big Law doesn't fuck around. This girl, she's already in the District of New Jersey, the Eastern District of New York, the Southern District of New York, and the United States Court of Appeals Second Circuit. Like, when you're in Big Law, oh, she clerked for Justice Albin. Oh, I want to talk to her. Ooh. Oh, I love Justice Albin. She clerked for Justice Albin on the New Jersey Supreme Court, the same court that I clerked for. And I knew Justice Albin. He's really nice. She's one of the associates at Wilkie Farr. She's one of the key players in Carol's website. Melissa Summer Tostine. And she clerked for Justice Albin. Justice Albin's awesome. He's such a nice guy. He retired, but now he's like at a partner at a firm in New Jersey. And they're like, I think he's like the chair of their appellate practice at a firm. Let me look him up. Barry Albin. Lowenstein. Yeah. He's the chair of their appellate. Yeah. So I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people. Or I know people who know people. So, mine is BWI girly here. Yeah, I'm close to I'm closer to BWI than I am to LaGuardia, but I will say, like, it just fucking threw me off to constantly see, like, the LGA. I was like, I remember literally Googling, like, LaGuardia Airport and then hitting the news tab and Google. I'm in the DC area. I'm like outside Baltimore now because when I worked in-house to work at JP Morgan, I was living in New York, and then they asked me if I'd be willing to relocate to the DC office. So then I did. And that's where I started doing stand-up comedy. So fun fact about me, in 2016, I first moved to DC and I was working in-house counsel at Chase, and I didn't know anybody. All my friends were in New York. So I found that the DC Improv did a class, like it's called 5 Minutes to Funny, and you meet for 4 Sundays in a row, and then at the end, like, you have a big graduation performance. So I did that. Like, everyone's families came. I put together like a 5-minute set, and then I really liked it. And then they give you a list of bars that like also have open mic nights, and so that's how I got. And then like right before, literally the day before the shutdown of the pandemic, so like March 13th or March 14th or something like that, I was in New York because I was just starting to break into the New York comedy scene, and then the world shut down. And then I moved. So I'm in the suburbs. So yeah, I have like old videos of stand-up and stuff. I'd love to go back to it. It's just like right now, it's not. Like when you're living in a city, you could like Uber to 3 bars and be home in 20 minutes. When you're living out in the fucking suburbs, you're going to drive an hour and a half for a 5-minute set. I'm like, that's all right. But yeah, so I used to do stand-up comedy for like 4 or 5 years. And I'm still friends with some of the comedians, and like I've met a bunch of really cool people. Who are your favorite comedians? I like Josh Johnson right now. He's really funny. He's, I don't know if you guys know him, but I think he's coming out with his first HBO special, but he has a lot of really funny, like, political jokes. So he's like a really nice version of Dave Chappelle. He's really smart. He's a really, really smart comedian. I also think Dave Chappelle is really good. I like Bill Burr. I don't think I've ever laughed as hard as I did when I saw Bill Burr live. He was really good. I like Nate Bargatze. I liked, her name is blanking. I'm blanking on her name. But the woman comedian who like roasted the football guy. See, what the hell's her name? Nikki Glazer. I like Nikki Glazer. Yeah, she's funny. So yeah, I think at some point, if I ever like rejoin society in a city or something like that, I might try stand up again, because I still get invited to go out. I mean, the most I had was 20 minutes. So you start with like a 3-minute set, and like little by little by little by little you add as you practice. So the longest set I had was 20 minutes. And this is like a lot of family stuff. Least favorite comedian? The redhead guy. Louis C.K. I never really liked him. Yeah. It is hard. 20 minutes is hard. I think it was like, I used to like peter out a little towards the end. But the baseball analogy, and so now the trial is the Super Bowl. Now we're switching subjects. I mean, switching sports. Because the surprise motion was a slam, like a grand slam. But the Super Bowl is going to be like, it's one game, winner takes all. You know, they've got to block Blake Lively's bullshit. And they got to, use a good offense to like find the openings to get a score. I had an ex try open mics. That's funny. That's very like Maisel. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, when her husband was like trying to, I have a bug in here. When her husband was trying to do that stuff. I'm late and out of the loop a little. Okay. I have like 10 more minutes until I'm supposed to take the dough out. Is everyone cool on time? Maybe that bug will eat you up. Texas Hold'em. Okay. Do you know about the Blakely contingent comp debate? No. Did you make the Taylor cookies? I made the dough. So the dough, the recipe, which I didn't know. I would have prepared this shit differently had I known. But everyone had fun watching me blend for the first time. Or beat. I beat the butter and then I busted the balls. You missed it. I beat the butter and then I busted the balls. No, it's not gluten-free. How the hell can flour be gluten-free? That seems counterintuitive to me. But, you know, I don't know about that stuff. But that just seems a little weird. But yeah, so now I'm gonna like preheat the oven. Actually, let me preheat the oven while I'm doing this. 36 million for what? I don't think. She was like, this girl Melissa was like his last clerk. Okay, grease a cookie sheet, 350. Okay, I'm gonna just start the oven. Oops. Okay, preheating. I got sunburned today. I got parchment paper. Yes. I got the rack. I really need to see this recipe. It's if you Google the Taylor Swift chai sugar cookies, that's what I'm making or attempting to make. And apparently the icing is just covering it with sugar. I almost forgot the chai, which was like the key ingredient of this whole fucking thing. Oh, you got sunburned. That's what you get. Is there a weird person in here? Who's Maureen? Okay. Cover your face with that icy. Oh, look, it's Blake. Hey, Blake. I did. I blocked. Well, I think I blocked. I mean, oh, actually, wait. Let me recuperate. The digital violence was everywhere. Hurt. Caused physical pain. Digital violence is real. Talk to your children, by the way. You never know. No, the bitch was like, aha, that's what you get. You got sunburnt. I'm like, I have a little color. I'm okay, Maureen. I use sunblock. Sun was just really fucking strong today. So I don't accept digital violence. And the bug comment. Oh yeah. I was just like, what's happening? Yeah, I can't wait for the statement when the fee has completely dismissed. That's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see how she spins that shit. Blake herself. Blake herself might be pretty pissed. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be like, yeah, she's gonna be like, I'm so thankful and just so appreciative to the judge for getting rid of retaliation, because at the heart of this complaint, it has always been about breach of contracts, because the foundation of civilized, living is contract law. And if you can't trust someone to keep their promise and abide by their contracts, what hope is there in the world? As a woman, it's really important that we're able to breach our contracts so that we can force the other party to bend to our will. So while I advocate for, women should be allowed to breach and men should be held to the terms of their agreements, and if you have children who want to become parties to contracts one day, you should talk to them, protect them, tell them about choice of law provisions and forum shopping. Everyone's been talking about that. If you just joined, also, I'm drinking de-alcoholized wine from New Zealand. It's a Sauvignon Blanc, and it's really good. It's the first de-alcoholized wine I've tried that I liked, and it's only 100 calories for the whole bottle. The legal system failed women. Listen, the legal system sucks. As you guys have seen, you can really exploit the legal system if you know how to do so. And the criminal justice system is fucked also. Look at Stormy Daniels' guy who ex-husband or something like that just got out of jail. He only served 4 years for this crazy money laundering or Ponzi something or other. But it was a financial thing that impacted a lot of people, and he was at a fucking country club. And then a guy with an ounce of weed is doing 25 years in maximum security. So I think becoming a lawyer made me a little jaded. I remember I was fully fucking optimistic when I graduated law school, fully. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so great. This is going to be amazing. And now I'm and then I met people my current age, and they're like, oh, you'll get there. I remember when I thought this was going to be fucking fantastic also. Thank you. Thanks. So don't forget to tap 5 times for 5 years. Good luck. I am going to bring the parchment paper over here so that I can do the dough and stuff. I'm going to have to make 12 scoops of dough. That's what I did. I was they're making a big deal out of this recipe. So I was like, let's try the recipe. And then if the recipe sucks, then we could be like, okay, I can understand why, Blake Lively was a little bit upset that she was being tied to this shitty fucking cookie recipe. At the time, let's promote alcohol and booze, not fucking cookies. You know what I'm saying? How dare you? How dare you associate me with cookies? Don't you know I'm trying to fucking sell my hair products, bitch? You guys hate me. You do. Good night, Tutor Karen Brown. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks, Moon Tea. All right, let me get the dough. Hold on. Well, first, we got parchment paper. All right, I'm getting this. I have the tray. I'm opening parchment paper. I went out for this again, special. You guys, this is I hope you guys know, this is the very first time I have ever made cookies in my entire existence. Except the ones that you buy from Toll House. You just like rip them apart and plop them. I've done those. Make sure I Betty Buzz with the cookies to get the full conspiracy. Jesus Christ. With the aviation gin, but only if I could prop my legs up on someone that I colored to look like a black guy. Then, you know. All right. That's it, right? You just put the fucking paper down? Okay. Okay. All right, so if you missed it, ta-da! Smells okay. That's the dough. These are smear cookie dough. Right here. Smear cookie. Smear cookie. Aviation gin has to be consumed in the AM so you can truly gain the flight experience. That's funny. Someone said, don't ask Blake Lively for a simple favor. Okay, espérate, wait. Where's the fucking recipe? Shit. I lost the recipe. Taylor Swift cookie recipe. Okay, so now I've done this. A 12-pack of Betty Buzz is $40. What the fuck is in that? It's going to be hard to scoop if it was cooling in the fridge. I thought we had to cool it in the fridge. All right, how about this? Maybe I'll finish the cookies in the morning with a morning live. What do you guys think of that idea? Because they said technically you can keep this shit in the fridge overnight. Let's vote. Cool in the fridge after you scoop. Are we doing the smart cross examination or what? You did a lot of cookies. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there. Did they miss the mock cross? Do you want me to do the cross examination again? Don't retaliate against the dough. Let me leave the dough out a little bit. So here's my strategy for the cross examination. Let me... All right, I will do this because in addition to a whiteboard, I also bought a new sketch pad. So this will make it easier. Okay, morning coffee and cookies. Okay, so I'm gonna hold off on baking the actual cookies. I didn't know that I was supposed to separate them first and then put them in the fridge. I mean, if you missed it, people were over here showing me how to fucking fill a cup. Scrape the top off. Okay, so Blake Lively cross-examination. What do we know about Blake Lively? Blake Lively is going to play the martyr role, right? And she's going to be talking a lot about like her experiences on set, everything she did. Docket update. Hold on. It hasn't been uploaded. Maybe it's coming. On mine, it says I have to buy on Pacer. Declaration in opposition to motion. So they filed that at 9 o'clock at night on a Friday. So what I was saying about the Blake Lively cross-examination is that I very strongly believe there's a 99.9% chance that FIHA is going to get dismissed. So what you have is a breach of contract claim, okay? So to make a contract, you have 4 elements. You have the offer, the consideration, you give me this, I'm going to give you that, the acceptance, and the meeting of the minds. This is what makes a valid contract. And then to get, she's buying the responses. Oh shit. Okay. To breach a contract, you need a contract. Oh, sorry, my dog needs to go out. Hold on. I'm coming. Okay, so to show breach of contract, you have to have a valid contract. K is the abbreviation for contract, and you have to say one party performed, one party did not perform. Just say that did not perform. And then that caused this party to have damages. So this is the structure of a cross-examination. Because what you need to do is, as Justin Baldoni, is you need to like clear out all the crap that she's going to be talking about, and you got to get her to focus. How do you get her to focus? You get her to focus with very narrow leading questions, very targeted questions. And for those of you who weren't here at the very beginning, I will say again, I have met someone who I'll dub an insider who knows the Baldoni team. And I talked to this person via email about the about my video. I sent them my video and I was like, if you think this is appropriate to pass on, you know, feel free to do so. And so this person and I were emailing about cross-examining Blake Lively. And what they said was, hold on, let me pull it up. He says, BL has to be tightly controlled and given no opportunity to tell a story on cross. Okay? It's not anybody on the team. I can tell you that. So then they say virtually all questions should be leading, and she should be made a puppet where she either says yes or no. And that's the point, right? So you don't do open-ended questions like, oh, do you think you were responsible for any of your bad publicity? Number one, that's open-ended. And number two, it doesn't go to the breach of contract claim that that she has to prove and that you have to defend, right? So when you say, okay, Miss Lively, the contract that we're talking about is the contract after the January meeting. That's the only contract that's going to be an issue with this case. So after the January meeting, you know, you guys made an agreement that, you know, you were going to, whatever the offer is and whatever the consideration is, you guys made an agreement and you executed that agreement. After this meeting, everyone was on the same page. You signed that agreement. Yes? Yes. Okay. And you've said before, and you've previously testified, after that January meeting, there were no other incidents that made you uncomfortable. Isn't that right? Yes. So what did you just say? Just with that, that means this contract, at least part of the terms, have been complied with, because she just said that he never bothered her again. That had to have been a term in that contract. Okay. So now she's claiming he breached the contract because he retaliated against her. So she's saying he broke it and then that's causing her damages. So now let's talk about whether or not he broke the contract. Well, how are we establishing whether or not he broke it? We want to point out that anything he did was not because of this contract. What he did was because of other things that she did to him. Right? So if we do another timeline, the cross-examination should follow the timeline, should follow the defense. So, I mean, I guess over here. Let's just pretend this is January. This is August. January meeting is the contract. This is what she's saying he broke. Miss Lively, isn't it true that in May of 2024, your husband Ryan Reynolds unfollowed Justin Baldoni from Instagram? True or false? Isn't that correct? That's correct. And in June of 2024, you wrote this PGA letter. Isn't that true? And you wrote it by yourself. And no one helped you write it. So in that PGA letter, you described spending a year and a half to prove yourself worthy of the title, right? Okay. And then in the PGA letter, you said that Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath did not write letters of support to you at that time. Isn't that right? Yes. Okay. So then in July, you told Sony that you were no longer going to promote with Justin Baldoni for the movie. Isn't that right? Yes. And then then you unfollowed him yourself, right? Yes. And to your knowledge, the cast subsequently unfollowed him, right? Right. And then once you were at the premiere, you refused to take pictures with him. Yes. Could the contract not end on the premiere date regardless of I don't know what that means. So then, but this is the all yes or no questions. Ryan Reynolds will follow, yes or no. You wrote the PGA letter, yes or no. You said in July that you weren't going to do promotion, yes or no. And then you unfollowed him, yes or no. And then the cast unfollowed him, yes or no. And then you put him in the basement, yes or no. And you refused to take pictures, yes or no. And then you told everyone at the premiere that Ryan Reynolds wrote the roof scene. Isn't that right? Yes. But you remember from earlier testifying, you told Justin Baldoni that you wrote the roof scene, right? And you told Colleen Hoover that you wrote the roof scene, correct? And you told Jamie Heath that you wrote the roof scene. Isn't that right? And you told Jenny Slate that you wrote the roof scene, right? And you told, Sony that you wrote the roof scene. So at the end, that was a lie. Isn't that true? That's how you do a cross. And what have you proven? All of the PR issues that justify Justin Baldoni hiring his PR team. And what else have you proven? That Blake Lively is a liar. It really should not be a long cross-examination. A cross-examination is not where you make your case, because she's going to come back up to the stand. Then you do a direct. A direct examination is where you have the open-ended questions. But even in this case, a direct examination would be, hold on, let me pull it up. Blake Lively PGA letter. Let's just go through this PGA letter real quick, okay? This is how I would question Blake Lively on this fucking PGA letter. Miss Lively, after she's read it, I was officially granted the title of producer. How were you officially granted the title? That's a question. After a year and a half of asking, when did that year and a half begin? Was the year and a half started in 2022? Did it start in 2023? What part of the year? Was it January, February, March, April, May, June, July? What part? So the year and a half asking. When you were asking, did you ask before you signed on as an actress? Or did you start asking to become a producer after you had already signed the offer letter? Okay? That's just quite, and that's like just in this one sentence. Who did you ask? Did you ask Justin Baldoni? Did you ask Jamie Heath? Did you ask Steve Sarowitz? Did you ask Colleen Hoover to vouch for you? Did you ask anyone at Sony? Who did you ask for a year and a half? How often did you ask them? Did you ask them once a week? Did you ask them once a month? Did you ask them like every day when you were sending emails? How did you ask for a producer? Then you said you worked tirelessly. What's tirelessly mean? So at all times you were able to function in your role, right? because you work tirelessly. Okay. I've produced every moment of this film, from pre-production through production into post. What do you mean when you say you've produced? How do you define producing? When you say every moment, are you talking about every moment on camera or every moment behind the scenes? Or both? And if it's both, then how did you end up doing both jobs when you were retained as an actress? Explain. That's when you get her to tell the story that she's going to leave out when it's her turn. She's going to tell two stories. One is going to be her version. And then if they do it right, the second story should just focus on this fucking PGA. You could spend a whole week on this. Like, in our household, that's the highest honor of film. So I understand the gravity of the ask. I also understand the absurdity of asking this late. How late was it? What's the normal procedure for applying for a PGA tag? It said absurdity. So if you acknowledged it was absurd for you to ask, then why did you do it? Do you always do things that are absurd? Okay. No crew could tick me out the box. You granted the PGA to two producers, Alex Sachs and Jamie Heath. I'm in full support of their tags. Why? Why are you in full support of Jamie Heath's tag? What did Jamie Heath do? Could he do anything? It says, but you just said, I've produced every moment of this film. So if you've produced every moment of this film, then why would you support Alex Sachs and Jamie Heath getting the tag? I'm confused by that. Can you explain? If you've been the one who's produced everything, then why would someone else be getting a tag? My understanding is that they both are in support of mine. I have a note from Alex below. So if Jamie Heath did not attach a note, why didn't he attach a note to your knowledge? Was he in support of your tag? Why didn't he write a letter to your knowledge? Right? I'll focus on the facts of the work I did at each stage of production. I led the location shift from Boston to New Jersey. Why? What was wrong with Boston? Who originally decided that the shooting should be done in Boston? Were you aware of any tax credits that the city of Boston was giving the production company for shooting there? Did you negotiate any tax credits in New Jersey? Or did the move from Boston to New Jersey cause an increase in budget? And if there was an increase in budget, how did you fix the budget deficit? That's just the fucking first bullet. And help solve all costs and schedule logistics associated. How? Who did you reach out to solve all the costs and schedule logistics? How did you do that? How many times did you have to talk to somebody? Who did you have to talk to? I personally called and or wrote emails to crew and put forth names for department head roles, including hair, makeup, director, photography, costume design. Stop! Transportation, etc. Why? Who asked you to do that? Was there a hair person at the time that you replaced, or was there never anyone there? Was there a makeup person at the time that you replaced, or was there never anyone there? Etc., etc. So every single thing, I identified and onboarded freelance team members for the cast members. Why? Who asked you to do that? At this point, you were just, my dog is fine. At this point, you're just an actress. You haven't had any kind of contractual conversations with anyone about becoming a producer, or was this when you started to ask? At the very beginning is when you started to ask? When you led the location shift from Boston to New Jersey, did you ask about becoming a producer? When you personally called and wrote emails to crew, at that point, were you asking to become a producer? When you identified freelance team members, at that point, were you trying to become a producer? Do you guys get it? what is breaking down the entire PGA letter do? How can she say Justin Baldoni did anything bad to her in this environment when this is the environment that she controlled and created? And by controlling and creating this environment and then publicly disclosing all of the things that she did that should have been Justin Baldoni's job, this thing ultimately created a PR issue. That's the story. Look at all this thing. And by now you're still a fucking, this shit is single spaced. Okay. She's like, I reviewed and improved the influences we collaborated. I identified and bought on our photographer, Jade Green. And then there was something else that she said. I don't want to know who the colleague is. She's like, my male co-star didn't want to come to something. And then like I called and I got him back on board. Like, who was the co-star? How did you get him back on board? What did you have to say to get that person back on board? Were they threatened at all to get back on board? Right? She can. I mean, she's already a liar on all these other things. But that's how you question a direct examination of Blake Lively. Go through the PGA letter. Show the hostile takeover of the movie. That's a complete contradiction and a completely different image to this victim bullshit that she's going to be pulling during her half of the trial. Okay. Something must be going on because I also got a text message from someone saying lock my doors. Hold on. Hold on, Mama. Hold it on. If anything happens, you know what happened. There was 2 creepy guys loitering outside my house earlier. That's why my neighbor just texted me and reminded me to lock my doors. So yeah, no, it was creepy. It was like these 2 creepy guys. They're like, oh, we're just sitting here waiting for an Uber. And I'm like, you're like 2 blocks away from where your Uber is coming. So who knows? But yeah, like anyway, I leave the door open so the dog can come in and out of the yard. And then like the way that my thing is set up, I'm like the rear house. So there's like a front house. That's a 2-family house. And then there's the street. So I'm pretty tucked away, which is also why it was odd to have like these 2 guys like behind my house. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I have a Ring camera. So that's good. Never know. And it's funny because my pit bull is like the friendliest damn dog ever. So it's actually pretty rare for her to bark. So you were right, person who told me I shouldn't yell at my dog. She's probably like, bitch, I'm trying to save your life. Don't tell me to shut up. When do I do this? Clarence Thomas is hilarious. Huge fraud rings in Maryland. Yeah, there's a lot of crap going on in Maryland. But apparently, the governor signed some kind of bill approving a law that requires either 12 or 18 weeks of maternity leave. I think it was 12. I think it's one of only 18 states in the country now that does that. So that's good. Yeah, I mean, these guys were like, they look like day workers who were just chilling. Like, I went out and I got them water. Like, I gave them water bottles. I'm like, if you guys are just going to be sitting here on my fucking property, then I at least, like, have a water. So hopefully they won't hurt me because I was nice. Eric Swalwell case. No, I haven't looked into that one. But just to go back to this case, so they could spend an entire week questioning Blake Lively. And I think that's where their focus is best spent. I don't think, so a lot of if you go through the objections today that that Justin Baldoni's team uploaded in response to Blake Lively's exhibits, they spent a lot of objections to eliminate a lot of the smear campaign stuff. They're trying to get rid of a lot of YouTube things, a lot of Instagram things. They're trying to get rid of a lot of social media things. And my concern is that by trying to disprove a smear campaign, they're going to hurt their defense. They don't have to disprove a smear campaign, because everything that happened in the smear campaign happened after the PGA letter. So as far as I'm concerned, it's totally fine if he did have a fucking smear campaign. The only thing that they need to focus on is why he had a smear campaign. He had a smear campaign because Ryan Reynolds unfollowed him, because she publicly disclosed a dispute between the parties, and she publicly disclosed her hostile takeover of this film in this PGA letter. And then she created yet another PR issue for him by saying she wouldn't promote with him. And then none of the other cast members were promoting with him. And like, you systematically go through everything that she did. Remember, the point of this is to put Blake Lively on trial, not to put Justin Baldoni on trial. That's his defense. What was everything that she did to him? How did she bully him? Then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, wouldn't you hire a PR firm to help with your reputation when one of the most popular stars in Hollywood unfollows you? Someone who has tens of millions of followers? Wouldn't you hire a PR firm if, you know, the lead actress of your movie that was supposed to be your big break as a director is running around and telling Hollywood superstars like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck that you're a fucking chaotic clown and a cult leader? Wouldn't you hire a PR team if Blake Lively wrote this PGA letter and basically like made you seem completely impotent and like irrelevant to this process of making this movie? Wouldn't you hire a PR team if suddenly the lead actress of this film, who's also described herself as co-director, declares that she wouldn't do any promotion with you? Wouldn't you hire a PR team if after all that, then she freaking unfollows you and has the entire cast unfollow you, and then the media is speculating about you and about like you as a man and what you're doing to this woman? Wouldn't you hire a PR firm at that point? Blake Lively wants you to believe that he hired a PR firm because of a long forgotten meeting 8 months prior that everyone agrees was successful, because nothing ever made her feel uncomfortable after that meeting. So that was a successful HR meeting. And the terms of that meeting were complied with because, again, she says it was a professional environment thereafter. So did he really retaliate against her because of that January meeting, or did he retaliate against her because after that January meeting, it wasn't enough that she took over the movie, but then she systematically tried to take down his reputation? A person has a right to defend their reputation. And that's what Justin Baldoni did in this case. He defended his reputation to the best of his ability, despite the fact that he was going up against, you know, Ryan Reynolds, who's got $1 billion, franchise with Deadpool. I'm not sure if they're going to let Nice pull in the evidence, but regardless, you got someone with tens of millions of people following you, and then you're unfollowing 3 months before this movie debuts. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, does it make sense? Is that logical to conclude that Justin Baldoni wouldn't be upset about the fact that Ryan Reynolds unfollowed? He wouldn't be upset about the PGA letter. He wouldn't be upset about the fact that she then unfollowed him. He wouldn't be upset about the fact that she says she wouldn't promote. He wouldn't be upset about the rest of the cast unfollowing him. He wouldn't be upset about her not taking pictures with him. He wouldn't be upset about being put in the basement. The only thing that he was upset about was the January meeting and that contract. Does that make sense? Blake Lively wants you to believe that she's the victim because of all these negative PR things. But even if Justin Baldoni did every single thing that she is accusing him of, which he did not, because you have heard testimony from influencers or content creators like Shashti Fla, who confirmed that they posted out of their own volition and not because of any directive from Baldoni. But even assuming for the sake of argument that Shashti Fla posted that video of that interview with Blake Lively because Justin Baldoni told her to, that was in August. That was after Ryan Reynolds unfollowed him. That was after the PGA letter. That was after she said she wouldn't promote. That was after she unfollowed him. That was after the cast unfollowed him. That was after he she refused to take pictures. That was after he got put in the basement of his own goddamn premiere. Even I saw that and I wasn't following this fucking case. I'm like, why is this guy taking pictures of a premiere by a bunch of chairs that are stacked? Wouldn't you tell Shashti Fla to post that video if she had done all those things to you? And again, he didn't, because you've heard her testimony. But Blake Lively wants you to act like she's a victim. But in reality, she's the cause of this whole thing. Because it wasn't enough, as you heard through the PGA letter, for a year and a half, as you heard in her Forbes interview, this is her business practice, that she tells people she wants to be an actress, and then they feel blindsided because she doesn't tell them that she needs authorship to feel fulfilled. And then she systematically tries to take over a movie. And in this case, it's exactly what she did. And in that systematic takeover, what did Blake Lively create for Justin Baldoni? She created a PR nightmare. Not a PR problem. A PR nightmare. She tried to be the architect of his destruction and wound up being the architect of her own. And that's why we are asking you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to come back and find that Justin Baldoni did not retaliate against her because of a January meeting about complaints that she had that were fully addressed and complaints that were never came up again. To the extent Justin Baldoni retaliated, we want you to find that retaliation was fully warranted, because you are allowed to protect yourself. When someone is trying to damage you and trying to damage your reputation and trying to destroy your career, you are allowed to, hire someone who's going to be your advocate. You are allowed to hire someone who's going to put positive things about you in the media. And yeah, you're allowed to hire someone who's going to say, Blake Lively doesn't take domestic violence seriously. Have we seen anything at this trial to indicate that Blake Lively does take domestic violence seriously? So even assuming for the sake of argument that Justin Baldoni boosted that video, can you say that he was incorrect in doing so? Can you say that anything that he did was a lie? Or did he just highlight the truth that she was already publicizing? So, no, the PGA letter is admissible. The PGA letter is admissible. Like I said, it was the PGA letter was the centerpiece of the damn judge's opinion, at least in terms of finding that she was an independent contractor. And the PGA letter was part of the motion for summary judgment and judgment on the pleadings. Did you find lodging? Not yet. I have a lead on some, but I don't have enough money. I haven't raised enough. Airbnb is expensive. Even at a discount, Airbnbs are expensive. So we'll see how it all shakes out. The way you laid out the timeline is genius. Well, hopefully they're at least watching, or someone's watching, you know. I know that they've just brought on a couple new lawyers. I haven't looked them up or like figured out what their credentials are or anything like that. But that's how I would approach this trial. A breach of contract claim is super simple. I've never seen a trial for a breach of contract, a single breach of contract claim. That's how fuck you rich this woman is. Both of them are. Both sides of this fucking thing have so much money that they can just like do this. There's so many people who have so many like real problems who can't afford litigation. And this woman is throwing millions and millions and millions of dollars into this bullshit. And I'm like, and I mean, Baldoni's like, fuck it. I'll like defend myself. But this is going to be a $10 million trial all day long for both sides. All fucking day long. And what are we talking about? Never with teeth? Like, you know, I'll tattoo your face to the perineum. Like, this is like this crazy ass fucking case. Yeah. No, I understand why Wayfarer is, and I understand why they wouldn't want to settle, but I'm just like, this case is insane. It's insane that it was even brought. This is all like really Blake Lively having some like hardcore disconnect from reality. Because I don't understand how the fuck. Even that, like she's just not listening to anybody. Like nothing. She has learned nothing. I know that much. She has learned absolutely nothing this entire time. Because for her to go and fucking make that statement after the retaliation was the only thing left and put a fucking dragon emoji, she has not learned a goddamn thing. Is that the one where she was like, I'm his home? Or whatever? So, yeah. But that's why I say, like, to have this much money for such a, again, it's going to be chaotic and it's going to look crazy. But like I said, and I think I told you guys this expression, like when you don't, there's a law, there's an expression in the law, and it says, when you don't have the law on your side, you pound on the facts. And when you don't have the facts on your side, you pound on the law. And if you don't have either on your side, you pound on the table. So Blake Lively's team are pounding on the table and pounding on the facts. Like they're just data dumping a bunch of shit to the jury, hoping that the jury gets distracted enough and confused enough to think that Justin Baldoni did what he did for the wrong reason. And that's why I said, whatever she puts, your job is to focus. That's it. On her cross, very quick cross. Unless you've caught her in a fucking outright lie, I wouldn't cross-examine her on like bullshit like the plantation wedding. What's the point? The jury already knows she got married on a fucking slave plantation. That's not the point you need to hammer home. What you need to hammer home is what did she do to him? Not belabor what she's saying he did to her. We don't care because we know why he did it. So we need to explain what she did to him. That should be the focus of the Baldoni defense, in my opinion. And on cross, they should only ask yes or no answer questions. So, I have absolutely no idea why. This case is not, I don't know. I think it's just odd. I feel like something else happened. I feel like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively like proposed being swingers or something like that. Like some crazy shit happened. And then they just did not take rejection well. Because I've just never, what the fuck did this man do to warrant this much hatred? I haven't seen anything that warrants this much venom, that warrants the creation of a movie character. Like, it's just a lot. So I'm like, something must have fucking happened. Something that, I mean, what kind of heterosexual man sends a message, I will have a line producer's face tattooed to my perineum. I happen to adore you, Justin. Like, and understand what I'm saying. Like, it's okay if you're gay. It's okay if you're bisexual. It's okay if you're a swinger. It's okay if you're in an open marriage. But no means no. Like, if this fucking guy told you no, then, like, accept that and move on. But Jesus Christ, there are so many fucking books in the world. Have you been to a library? Have you been to a Barnes & Noble lately? Pick another fucking book and make it a movie. This is not that hard. Just like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It wasn't even that fucking good of a book. So, yeah, it's just a lot. And then they're like making their 7-year-old kid say, if I wanted your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's dick out of your mouth. And the kid is 7? That's a lot. I don't think these people are all there. I don't think you could just blame Blake. I think these people are equally insane. And that's why I say, I don't think that they're going to get a divorce. There's a lot of divorce rumors. Where are they going to go? Who else is going to fucking take them? They're insane. And their insanity matches each other's. And they still got these fucking kids. So I don't think they're going to get divorced. They're going to be like one of those couples that like, they're going to be like Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, only you know that they're insane. 100 takes for his daughter saying it. Oh my God, that kid is going to be like, I just hope they're putting money aside for her therapy. That's nuts to me that you make a 7-year-old say something like that. And the girl has a mask. You could get someone to dub that. It doesn't have to be your kid saying it. You just have your kid standing there in a fucking uniform and a mask, and that's it. Yeah, they're going to be Jada and Will. Yeah. Fucking Jada. Will Smith just doesn't want to lose his money. That's the only reason he's not getting a divorce from a fucking woman. Divorce is expensive. He's just like, that's fine. She could be in love with Tupac all she wants. I'm not losing $200 million over this bitch. You want your own house, baby? Go have your own house. You want the freedom to decorate it all you want? Go have the freedom to decorate it all you want. You know, you want to be single and free within the marriage? Go ahead. We're not getting a divorce. Because this is California, and California is a community state. Community property state. That means that bitch gets half. He ain't giving her half. It's like we are staying together. So, whatever. All right, guys. So, I'm going to finish the cookies in the morning so we can have cookies and coffee and talking about Blake Lively. So I will do cookies and coffee. Cookies, smear campaign, cookies and coffee. How about 9 a.m. Eastern? Because I'll be up early. I gotta get up early to walk the dogs and stuff. So I'll jump back on live. So wow. Okay. You're welcome. Thank you for your patience in watching me with my cookie stuff and my first ever hand mixer experience. It was special. And for sharing the music. I'm going to be listening to that a lot. Those fucking parody songs about Blake are hilarious. And they're really good. You guys were right. I know, we're gonna see. We'll see. But thank you guys for the donations. Thank you guys for the likes. You know, like I said, I have a lead on like lodging. This person said that, you know, they would be willing to like rent out their Airbnb at like a discounted rate, and it would be like a house, so it wouldn't be like me sleeping in the freaking hallway, and it would be a commute from Jersey, but it's not like an unmanageable commute or anything like that. So, all right, but we'll see what happens. But either way, this was fun. Thank you guys. See you later. The fund is up to like 3,500, I think. And my link to donate, if you're interested in sharing and all that, is on the bio.